Hello there. For all of you who are wondering, my name is Mike and I'm here to talk about music. Now, it's funny enough because I'm actually a film major and someone who enjoys making movies and content created videos. So, why am I a huge music nerd as well? Well, let me explain. How I actually got into my first kind of taste of music was really interesting. I saw Dumbo on VHS when I was 2 or 3 years old, and the Pink Elephants on Parade came on. And honestly, most kids were scared, but I was fascinated. I just was blown away by the animation, but I was mostly blown away by the sound, by the amount of jazz that's intense, the noise, just the overall sensation. It's beautiful. Now, to get started on the physical media and how music works, let's start with what it became its first. Vinyl. This is Royal Coda. So vinyl is basically like a giant disc that you put on like a turntable, and I'll explain more as we get into it, but pretty much you take a little disc out like this, and you make sure you don't touch the corners, so you make sure you don't mess it up. And yeah, you start listening and it gives you 30 minutes of pure energized noise. Yeah. Here are just some of my vinyls. As you see, I have a lot of different tastes, from Fugazi or Fagazi, whatever how you say it. They Might Be Giants, another indie band. Ice Nine Kills, this is my favorite metalcore band, up with like The Story So Far, Punk, and of course Avenged Sevenfold. So my list is very expansive when it comes to vinyls. When it comes down to CDs, I do actually have quite a ton. In terms of CDs, I have probably over 80 to 100, and they mostly consist of metal, to death deathcore, to anything really metal. Very rarely do I have anything like pop or emo or punk, but yeah, there's I mostly listen to my records and CDs on this little Victrola 8-in-1 player. Now, where do I get all my CDs and vinyls? Well, that's an easy answer. The record store. If you don't know, record stores have been around since before your parents were even born, and they have always been the greatest source to get music. Now, what's really awesome about a record store is you will never know what you can find. Kind of like a vintage store or even a comic book store, there's always a random album or vinyl or something that could be super rare or super cheap depending on the value. Now, vinyls we go for 20 to 30 bucks. But then sometimes I can find an album for either 10 bucks, 15 bucks, 20 bucks to even 100 bucks, which find complete bullshit. But I digress. Anyways, on to cassettes. Cassettes are a relatively new thing for me. I started collecting them last year, and they've been great. They normally only cost 7 to 10 bucks, and they're like mini album. I play my cassettes on this Walkman WM 2011. I got it last year, and it cost quite a penny. Let me tell you, it plays really well. Besides CDs, vinyls, and cassettes, I also buy a lot of merch. From flags, to shirts, to stickers, to posters, whatever I can get my hands on. Most of this comes from shows I've been to in the past or in the last couple of months. My favorite shows I've seen were Avenged Sevenfold, Within Destruction, and Knocked Loose. I have a lot of stickers also from Bandcamp orders I've gotten from like record companies, and that's always been great. Indie Merch Store is a great website. Also, I have a lot of metal shirts. That one's kind of messed up. But I have a lot of Avenged Sevenfold, a lot of deathcore shirts, like deathcore, metalcore, punk, anything that's like emo or grunge, like I just love, and it just fits my style. And hope you guys really enjoyed this video, and if you're really into music, I hope these tips and these suggestions help you out, and I hope you get into music. Bye.